these are some of the common regrets that many international students have after arriving in Australia. And no, this video is not about discouraging you for studying in Australia. It is rather to get you prepared so that you don't have these regrets in your student life. In this video, we are going to talk about 5 top regrets that many international students have after arriving in Australia. And these regrets are based on hundreds of students I've spoken personally to and my personal experience as an international student. Yes, I was an international student around 15-16 years ago in Australia as well. So without wasting any further time, let's talk about these regrets. The number one regret is not having enough work experience before arriving in Australia. Now this is one of my personal regret as well. Now before arriving in Australia as an international student, I hardly had any work experience. I did work for an accounting firm before arriving into Australia, so I did have some work experience. And many international students coming from different backgrounds and countries doesn't have a lot of work experience, which they ultimately regret. So even if you have a part-time job in your home country, you will learn plenty of skills that you need to work anywhere in the world. Regardless of any country, some of these skills are very common to most of the workplaces around the world. And that includes working in a team environment, having a good communication and interpersonal skills, following the instructions, processes, and so many other things that are relevant to the workplace environment. And that is so vital when you're coming to Australia, and if you have no experience or very little experience, it is a bit of struggle to get into the workplace culture. It is difficult for many students to understand how the workplaces actually operate, how to communicate effectively with their workmates, and how to follow some of the instructions and processes during their work here. So my suggestion would be, if you can have some work experience before arriving in Australia, that can be a huge advantage. The regret number 2 is not fully concentrating on the studies. So being a teacher myself, I've noticed that many international students do not necessarily focus on their studies. If you think about it for a minute, the whole purpose of coming into Australia is actually to study. After all, it is a student visa for a reason. But many students do not pay attention to what they are studying. For example, if you are studying Diploma of Hospitality or Masters of IT or Bachelor of Accounting, you need to make sure that you learn the skills that you came here for. And it's not necessarily about the grades only. It is also about understanding how the things work. And if you don't learn these things and do not fully concentrate, it can affect your career in the long run. And you will find it very difficult to get a professional job in your field after your studies, especially if you're not paying attention to your studies while you're studying. And I also get that point that sometimes you don't like what you're studying. In that case, you're more than welcome to change the stream of study or change your course. But certainly if you're not happy what you're studying in Australia, then definitely go ahead and look for other options which you would like to study. But the important thing is, make sure you concentrate on your studies, whatever stream, whichever field you choose to study. The regret number 3 is working too much. For some students, it might be like, yes, I would actually like to work some extra hours and make some extra money. While that certainly sounds really good in the short term, in a long run, many international students regret that they have worked so much that they were not able to concentrate on other things in life. Look, work is important, but it's not the only thing we live for. Your career, your study, your friends, your family, understanding the culture of the country you're coming in, and traveling in general as well. So there are a lot of things that you can do apart from just working and working only. At the time of making this video, international students are still allowed to work unlimited work hours. And many international students are taking advantage of that. And there is nothing wrong about it. If you're just gonna keep working while you are still studying, you will see that your productivity will decline. Most of the time after coming from work, you feel like, I don't want to study or do anything else. I just want to sleep or catch up on my sleep. And that will certainly affect your other prospects in your life. So my suggestion would be, work in moderation so that you don't miss out on other parts of your life as well. Of course, you have to prioritize in your life what is more important to you at a specific time. I went crazy working unlimited amount of time during my summer break or summer holidays, as an international student, but in other times I was able to focus on other things that are more important in the long run, not only in the short run. The next common regret is not finding work in the field sooner. So when you arrive here as an international student, you kind of pick up any sort of part-time casual job available for you to do. Of course, you need to pay your bills, so it makes sense to pick up some part-time work while you're studying. But many international students end up doing these part-time casual jobs for way too long and don't focus on the field that they're actually studying in. So they would keep doing the part-time jobs in the restaurants and in some other fields rather than focusing on the jobs or trying to find the jobs in their own field, like in IT, accounting, community services, nursing, health, or whichever other course you are studying. And as an ex-international student, I also understand that it is sometimes not easy to find a job in your own field. But keeping it to the last minute after your graduation and not being trying to find the jobs while you're still studying is one of the other regret that many international students have. So my suggestion would be, after your first semester or maybe the second semester here in Australia, start looking for some part-time casual jobs in your own field. Go out, start applying for some part-time jobs and start looking for some work experience in your own field as well. Don't wait until the end of your graduation. So make sure to start finding jobs in your own field as soon as it is practically possible. And last but not the least is not mingling enough with people outside their circle. So what happens is, many international students, when they arrive here in Australia, they usually end up living with the housemates and people from their own countries. Now obviously it makes sense because you're arriving in a brand new country with no family and friends around. And it is comforting to find people from your own home country and live with them or mingle with them. But many international students do regret that they should be going out of their inner circle and talking and communicating and building their network with people outside their circle as well. So my suggestion in this case would be, don't only hang around with the people from your own community or own culture or your inner circle of your friends. Go out, meet new people, build your network, because eventually it will have a long-term effect on your career opportunities and life in general. So I'm not suggesting you to give up living with your friends, whoever you are living with, but it is very important that you grow your network with people outside your circle as well. It could be attending some events, going to some other cultural events from other countries, and there are usually lots of these events happening around Australia, and you can find them from your university, from your local council's website, or from the city you're living in, their own website as well. So it is very important that you go out and mingle with other people outside your inner network so that your network grows, which, as I said earlier, will have a long-term impact on your career opportunities and life in general. Now, if you are an international student in Australia, I would love to hear from you as well in the comment section below. What sort of regrets do you have? And what suggestions do you have for the students who are arriving here in Australia soon? And if you do find any value in this video, please make sure to like it. It really helps us to reach more audiences as well, as YouTube algorithm helps us reach more people once more people are liking and sharing these type of videos. And if you have any other suggestions that the type of videos we should be making, please let us know in the comment section below as well. If you are an international student coming to Australia, I highly recommend you to download our Overseas Students Guide 2022. It is 145-page ebook that you can download for free from our website. The link is in the description below. And as always, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.